Philosophy is an invaluable teacher that helps us learn how to inhabit our own selves fully in this brief and transient spell of existence. It explains our short lives sideways so that we may live wide rather than long. This quote is from Seneca, one of the famous Stoics of our time, relating to the Stoicism philosophy. In this video, I'm going to get into how this philosophy can bring you peace of mind during this crazy 2020, this pandemic age, and beyond. Let's get into it. What's up, another day leveled up. It's your boy Salem, back with another one for you. How's everybody been doing? Hope everybody's been doing well. I've been doing great, so I'm here in a different location, if you haven't noticed. At my girl's place, wanted to switch it up a bit and spend some time with her, but at the same time make videos for you guys as well. So I'm very excited to get into today's topic because I feel like this Stoicism philosophy is so crucial for me and how I live my life. I'm sure it will help you as well to deal with this crazy 2020, this pandemic age, and beyond. So without further ado, jump right into it. We're born into this world with no roadmap, hungry, vulnerable, and confused. Going about our lives seeking to control the conditions around us, seeking to acquire material things, fame, status, and power, living with the constant hopefulness that in the future we may have enough things and security externally. One could rationalize that they may need all these things, but maybe it's what keeps us contained in our own problems. To help gain better clarity and just overall peace of mind, I would suggest one to look towards the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism started in Greece and was later adopted in Rome. It grew to a popular opinion by the great men of its time. How this philosophy has managed to withstand the test of time shows its teachings are still beneficial, and I'd say even more relevant today. The most famous Stoics were Marcus Aurelius, Cicero, Seneca, and Epictetus. These were the original influencers of the time, not because of their flashy clothes and steeds of the time. It was all a result of the wisdom they bestowed upon their people and how to live better lives. It's been encouraged by many greats of our time such as Nelson Mandela, Bruce Lee, Roosevelt, Lupe Fiasco, and even J.K. Rowling, to name a few. It's garnered a large community online, and for a good reason, I believe. Stoicism can help us find calmness and be resilient in a world overridden by chaos, anxiety, and an unquenchable desire for more. A Stoic exists in a reality where the world does not care about his or her personal opinion of it, no matter how nicely we ask to remove the chaos, hardships, and uncertainty, no matter how much force we exert to do so. However, with that said, Stoicism isn't suggesting we're helpless victims to the world. Rather, Stoicism takes the stance there's two realms of life, one being the external world, which is outside of our mind, which we can't control, and the internal, our reactions to which we can control. When we persist with the belief that a future circumstance, external happening will bring us happiness, we become dependent on those things that are not part of us or in our control, and in turn remain endlessly unhappy and unsatisfied. However, we must keep in mind that on our journey our focus remains on the internal, and that we obtain our happiness from how we think and act in our pursuits. Stoicism is a tool in the pursuit of self-mastery, perseverance, and wisdom one uses to live a great life rather than some esoteric field of academic study. There's nothing wrong with working towards and obtaining wealth, fame, or power, but in the Stoic's mind, these things are to be enjoyed if they do work out, never dependent on one for one's happiness. Say one is dependent upon them, their happiness and peace in their life is forever wavering. It could be taken away or never achieved at all. The sign of a truly successful person is someone who could be okay without what he or she desires or depends on for comfort, for these things such as fame, materialistic abundance, and power add no value to a happy life if the person has not learned to live properly without them. Almost nothing material is needed for a happy life, for he who has understood existence, Aurelius wrote. In order to develop mental grit of this philosophy, a common practice would be to temporarily strip oneself of the things that one depends on for comfort in order to prove to themselves how strong they are. Likened to a cold shower, you could say. The classic book titled Letters from a Stoic, Rome's most renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca writes, "Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them." Seneca goes over how to handle one's time and derive meaningful experience when referring to time. Seneca writes, "I advise you to keep what is really yours. And you cannot begin too early, for as our ancestors believed, it is too late to spare when you have reached the dregs of the cask, of that which remains at the bottom. The amount is slight and the quality is vile. It is now that we must find time, and it is now that we must find happiness. If it is either that we are seeking, for we do not focus the lens through which we live life right now." To put simply, seek peace of mind first. If we choose to place that low on our priorities, it will be too late when it is actually needed. Find time for happiness now. Love your life and those around you. If you find yourself seeking, then your focus is not on the present. The single most important practice in Stoic philosophy is differentiating between what we can change and what we can't. There's many examples of this philosophy displayed in our favorite movies. Fight Club displays this in the plot of the main character and his friend Tyler Durden turns his life upside down with his lifestyle and philosophy, all for his viewers to realize that he was having a dialogue with himself the entire time. This could be looked at similar to Marcus Aurelius in his book to himself, Meditations, that has gone to be a pillar of Stoic philosophy. Another great display is in the movie Star Wars. Yoda says a quote that will forever resonate with me. It goes, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." You're probably wondering, how is the Star Wars clip helping me handle 2020 and this pandemic? Well, what one has to realize is being controlled by your emotions is being a slave to them. You lose the ability to see situations clearly and rationally. Epictetus said, "He who is capable of angering you becomes your master." Could God in the universe be trying to tell us something? I want to put focus on Marcus Aurelius because I was not aware that this Roman emperor chose not to flee Rome to bring the Antonine epidemic, the deadliest pandemic in Rome's 900-year history. Even as he lost several children, his fortune dwindled, and the risk of infection heightened, he reassured people not by his presence but by his actions. His wife's gold-embroidered robes and jewels, even to his house he gave to the Senate. He assured people he did not value safety over his responsibility. He fought the pandemic relying on his unrefined knowledge in medicine and science, but still did everything he could. He said, "A pandemic can kill you, but it can only harm you if it ruins your character." He felt his duty was not because he was emperor, but because he was a citizen, not just of Rome, but of the world. When I think of Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius is the definition. He wasn't rattled, he kept himself strong for others. He insisted on what was right and not what was politically convenient. Waste no time talking about what makes a good man. Be one, because it isn't what you say that defines your character. The ability to find joy in spite of the world around us is developed through character and perspective. We must realize that no one and nothing is born and or hardwired to be good or bad. Only our judgments and interpretations of things that can be good or bad. Seneca says, "Neither raised up by prosperity nor cast down by adversity, for always he has striven to rely predominantly on himself and to derive all joy from himself." In other words, we must hold our perspective to cater towards our ability to remain with happiness and wonder, no matter the ups and downs of life. Stoicism gives the idea that we are but a tiny feature of the entire body of nature, and everything that happens in our lives is a matter of relevance and necessity to everything beyond us. With this perspective, we must work towards an acceptance and an indifference towards everything that happens to us, and instead focus our intention and ability to control our reactions to the things that happen. We must shape ourselves and level up to be one of humility, self-honesty, and good virtue. And in the words of Eckhart Tolle, say thank you, I have no complaints whatsoever. Whatever the world deals us, good or bad, only then can we begin to find peace in mind and free ourselves from anxiety and chaos of the world, and find some happiness and presence within ourselves. This practice I know is easier said than done, and I'd say impossible to live out completely, but it gives us something to aim for, and for that I am grateful. How has Stoicism helped me? It's helped me realize and accept hard truths in my life as to why my father wasn't present, the reasons for his actions, and forgiving him. Being okay with not being born into a rich family and dealing with knowing that I have a lot of work ahead of me. Realizing no one is inherently good or bad and that there's a cause and effect to everything. I've realized the phrase, dig me well before you're thirsty, also applies to the internal and not just the external. Stoicism hands you the shovel to clean out all the insufficiencies and false truths about life and make space to handle the world, nature, people, and one's own mind with virtues when tested. And last but not least, coming to grips that everything is fleeting, including myself. We'll all perish and die one day, and I just want to be remembered as one who did his best to provide wisdom to others on how to level themselves up and live a better life on the account of me and my life experiences. As to the current state of the world, no, the pandemics are nothing new. Know that COVID-19 will eventually pass, and we should allow Stoicism to help us handle ourselves both now and in the future. I hope this video was able to provide you with some clarity and peace of mind, and if so, I'd love for you to leave a comment below how so. And if you resonate with this video, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop more content, and just know, as always, a belief may be comforting, but only the true experience could be liberating. Grant yourself permission to level up. Until next time, it's your boy Salem. I'm out.